Okay, we're going to check out where my mom lived 45 years ago. I've never been in here. This is just east of Eagle Lake on Bidwell Lakes. No one has been in here. No one's lived here anyway since they left, I think, 1976. Oh, soapalele berries. We're about 2 kilometers away from the lakes, apparently. This is an old road put in probably in the 60s. I take that back. It was actually built in the 1980s sometime. I guess when my mom would come through here in the 70s, they had their own trail they cut in. This pine forest, lodgepole pine forest, is typical of the Chilcotin. It's a very dry climate, but cold. So you don't have a lot of underbrush. Poor dog, he can't make it over.
Dog, did he make it?
No. Come on, Bandito.
Come on, Bandito.
Okay, we're down in a draw here. In the draw, there's some bigger trees. Big spruce trees. I guess that tree's alive, Max. I'm trying to find our way.
Let me know if you see anything that looks like a road down there.
I see a road right there.
Okay, then. Okay, because I knew it wasn't too high of a hill, if it wasn't up there.
Here's an archaeological find. Which tree did you tie your horse to?
I think it's that tree that has the brace on it there, like it's sawed off at 2 feet.
Oh, that
It
thing.
was either that one or this dead one. It was something in front of the cabin. Unless it was maybe this tall one here. But I went in the house and had lunch or something, and and you're not supposed to do that. I write about it in the book, right? Anyways. You can see the lumber here, like how that's caving in. There's some broken glass here, guys. And our old aluminum plates that we used to live off, and
So
a
cute.
billy can, like for just making tea or porridge or whatever. It was our cooking pot. It was pretty rustic. So there's
This
three-
wall is leaning a bit, eh?
Yeah, well, you see, because we didn't have a long enough 2x4, like we scrounged those somewhere, like found them.
Uh-huh.
But the actual logs
They're fine.
are, in pretty good
Even the
shape.
bottom logs aren't bad.
Yeah, I know.
This is built, well, the bottom logs are sunk in a bit, but this is, what do you say, you built this in 75, 74?
Early 70s. I'm not sure exactly.
2 kilometers on the button. Wow.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Oh.
2 kilometers.
It's
pretty
shady
cute.
over here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I have it on. I made a map of it. Do you have a real door? Or...
How did you make the
We
roof?
made it out of hide, as I recall. Was it moose hide or cow hide or horse hide? Because we did shoot horses. I can't remember. It was some kind of herd.
You shot like there were that many wild horses?
We shot 2 and dried them all. We sat in here and cut up 2 horses and made dried meat and had it coming up. And that was like February, like 3rd July. We had that coffee. I even dragged my oldest son and made him a little backpack. And he, like carry 5 or 10 times I did. Yeah. And then after we spent 1 winter in there, we figured it was too small. So just a short ways down here, you'll see where then we got a white tent, we got logs, and lived in the tent after. And then we moved up to Moosebone Meadow, up Anaheim Lakeway, like Towdy Stand, Limpo Way.
How long was this before that person was born?
Which person? This one here?
Yeah.
Well, if this was built in 73, and you were born in 79, 6 years before he was born, something like that. This person, I'm not sure what his name is. I forgot.
Yeah, that one, he followed us up from the road.
I know.
Here's the map I made. Well, you tracked it.
Oh, so this is where we parked, is on the left?
Yeah.
Okay, and so the blue is where we've walked?
Yeah, the dark blue is the first kilometer, and then the light blue is the second.
This cabin's not in bad shape for being
Well, I kind of thought we were going
pushing
kinda west,
50 years old
southwest.
here.
Like, I'm not
Yeah.
surprised.
Yeah.
It's kind of,
Yeah.
that seems, this is going to be great.
I don't know
to see
that I
this.
would, well, you could fix it up.
Yeah.
I was thinking of fixing it, but it's a little worse than it was a couple years ago. Because a couple years ago, these things were not compromised. You see how that is now?
Yeah.
But see how that was all fitted together, and
Yeah.
I mean, all this done with the bow saw and the hatchet, and we had a double bed over there.
Did you
So the
chink
three of us,
Yeah,
because
you
Greg, the 3 of us slept on the double bed, and it was just like spruce boughs, like no mattress. And then Mark only wanted 1 window. I insisted on 2 windows, so there's 2 windows. And we had like an airtight heater you could pack in on your back. And then we had like a little table about 1 foot wide and 2 feet long. And I think a stool, like a piece of firewood to sit on. That was it.
Wow.
So we sat up on the bed cross-legged and cut up all that moose or horse meat into like 6-foot strips and hung it on a rack that we had on the ceiling and dried it.
Well, your horse died and you ate it?
No,
No,
we hunted 2 wild horses.
Oh, yes.
It was February, and we were out snowshoeing and saw these 2 horses, and
Yeah.
I think it was actually past. It was, I think, on the other side of the big Buckhorn Lake. And so it was February, so we were probably able to walk across the lake again, to bring it back here. But still, that's a good kilometer, maybe 2, I don't know, whatever. But I get tired just thinking about it.
Your,
Yeah.
And then we hauled all the dirt up there. I think I was filling the bucket with dirt, and then Mark would stand up there. We had a piece of plastic on the roof, and then we just brought dirt up and maybe some hay. I think we put some hay first, then the plastic, and then the dirt.
Oh, I think the plastic is long since gone, eh?
Oh yeah. Well, that was, you know, how old are you? 40, so it's like 45 years ago.
Yeah, looks like it's leaking.
Yeah. I think it's seen better days.
But the moss actually on the inside doesn't look bad.
Oh, so we actually chinked it on the inside too. See, I forget all that, but yeah, it looks like it. In fact, I don't know that we might have only chunked it on the inside if it was cold weather.
Well, if you look at this side over here, it's right here.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, there is some there, yeah. And also I picked up a few things from here, like there's some tin cans. There's a few things down at the cabin tent there. And there was a I found a mitten laying outside. It's been there for like 45 years, or 40 years, I think, when I finally found it. I actually have a photograph because Barb had her camera and took a picture of it. And anyways, yeah, it's amazing. But see, when we lived here, all these little trees weren't here. Like there was a big one, maybe that big one there.
So was it more open 45 years ago?
Oh yeah, definitely. And all these trees close, like it was all hardly any trees. And you know, I think this is the one I tied the horse to. Horses like to, because you see all the bark stuffed off it. Like there's a big scar.
Oh.
And that's because he was on that side of the tree, and I tied his hind leg, and he kicked and kicked and kicked for like an hour. Then I came out and put the shoes on. But see all these little ones that have come up, and you know, there wasn't any deadfall here, of course, because you know we would have burned it if there was any.
But was the countryside more open?
Oh, definitely.
Like it was more grasslands, you think, or
no,
or
but just pine needles and big, you know, 6-inch jack pines, like 10 or 20 feet apart. But anyways, are you guys okay for walking a little bit? You don't need to sit down yet, or do you? It looks like a road, doesn't it? A little bit. Oh, I see a good shot of the lake. So when we come back, when we see the lake, the little lake, we'll kind of go in that way and find maybe I think our cabin tent is up here. Here, let's go up here. Because it's at the north end of the lake, and it's on a little ridge, so it's probably right there. So we might as well catch it, and then we can go that way, or try to just follow. We can follow the tree, or the road might be easier. Or maybe it's up on that there.
I said there's a, and then I always said
oh, there's a lake there.
Yeah, the lake. Okay. So I see there's kind of a hill over there. Because this is still water, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's water. Okay, so let's just go this way. I think it's this way, right here. Then we can get that road again. Tent is pitched on.
Oh, so you had
And
your
you can see the lake, how blue the main part of the lake is. And then it drains out kind of through that creek bed going north. See? So that's the little Buckhorns, and this is just the shallow end of it.
Okay. So how far? Much further?
Oh, not far. Quarter of a kilometer at the most. And we used to put some glass gallon jugs full of them on the horse and on the saddle, and then ride to past that end of that lake where the creek, we find a place where the creek was running and get water. That's how we used to get drinking water. But we get dishwater. That thing is still standing.
2 years ago, this was still standing?
Yeah.
The sawhorse?
Yep.
What are these cans?
Well, there's still some cans for the garbage we left behind. There's some over by the cabin, and there was a mitten like 6 years ago or whatever when, oh, look at this, this is full of needles. You don't want to step on this thing. Probably a piece of the sawhorse, I think.
Piece of glass? Where?
Yeah. Well, you know, we left a few, an old rag. I think I'll sit down and drink some water.
is this something?
Okay.
Yeah, this is something. Looks like
There's another mitt. We took a picture of, this is Otis's old mitten, right? So that's been laying there since like the early 70s. Dish rag maybe or something.
There's a whole bunch of these pieces.
Some kind of rag. Yeah, but that is old. But outside all that, wow, look at this nest. You see, that was one of our gallon jugs that we used to get water in, see?
Yeah.
Like you used to buy wine in those things, or you know, a lot of people bought wine in those things. That's why you'd find them somewhere.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think I'm going to sit down.
Yeah. So you cut this hay down here on this meadow?
Yeah, like
with
the
the
first
side?
hay corral we made for just Yohimbo was at the south end of that lake and on the other side. And I haven't bothered finding that corral, but this one is in good shape, and you can find it. It's out in the open, and it's
Okay.
not swampy. This other lake is not swampy. This one is, you know, depending on how high the water is. But we didn't usually tether them right down here because it was so swampy. We'd take them up to the big buckhorns.
Yeah.
But then sometimes, at that time that Greg punched a hole in his head and he was bleeding and it got infected, I finally found that Yohimbo. I couldn't find him anywhere. I'd been to big buckhorns. Finally, he was standing over in those spruce trees across the way there.
How old was he?
Greg?
Yeah.
6.
Like he got hit by the horse? Kicked by the horse? Or something?
He was bringing the horse back. We told him to go round up the horse, which he did. He's bringing him back, and there's some point where the horse dragged him into an upturned stump, and the root got him right above the eye and put like this big gash like in his eyebrow.
Must have knocked him out or something.
Well, no, he actually led the horse back.
Wow.
He was tough, you know. Well, we raised him that way, right? And anyways, okay, that was fine, but then Mark had to go to town or something. He was gone. So a day or two later, like I saw pus coming, like Greg was sleeping all the time and his eyes were closed, and I saw pus coming out of his eye. And it was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was like, oh my goodness, I've got to get him to the Alexis Creek Hospital. And I couldn't find the horse to put him on the horse, because how am I going to carry him to the highway, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at big buckhorns. I ran up there and looked all over, and it's like, where's the horse? And finally, I heard one ding of a bell, because it was like he had a bell on, and it was across this part of the meadow, because it was hot weather, right? And so we get up to the highway. I mean, okay, you know, and Greg's like out of it. He's not even conscious, right? We get up to the highway, tie Yohimbo tight to a tree, and stand on the highway, and the cop came along and gave us a ride to Alexis Creek. It was a good thing because it was like late in the day. We didn't usually have traffic, you know. It was like 5 o'clock or whatever.
Looks like that was a beaver mark.
There's a moose antler over there.
Looks like somebody was
Digging in there.
digging here.
Hey, it's actually still active for once.
Oh, look at that.
Can you put it in your backpack? I really want to have a moose antler.
It's been chewed on.
Is it a bad sign?
We've got a few of those at home anyway.
This one's in pretty bad shape.
Okay, so see that kind of grass down there? Like sometimes that's kind of a beaver pond. Like those beaver covers and stuff and water and stuff.
Oh, Jonathan, look, don't put your son in here.
So we're about halfway to the lake. And he's still got work to him, but there's little teeny legs that he has on his
You can't keep them out of the
cows and pastures.
feeding.
Nursing
Yeah.
off the mother. Oh,
Yeah,
good.
in the middle of the road.
In the middle of the road. You never know. You gotta keep your eyes on that. The road here. Whoever's carrying just be careful about the bushes. This is what I said about the willowy part.
This water's really high. There's some dead trees around it.
Sometimes we pack back, hay back, or feed the horse over there. And then we used to, there's like all these little bays over here, and there was like a dandelion meadow there. And so to walk around the lake, you just kind of go to the left, and then that big long Buckhorn, it's like a fjord, is behind those dead trees. And it goes way in there like that. So you have to kind of walk way around the Buckhorn, and you're on those hot, dry ridges. I think it's too hot for that anyway.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of dead trees. I think the water's really come up.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's a high water year.
Yeah.